back, spawn of Satan.
Oh, really?
What is up, my demons? You can already tell that I do not have much of a voice for this tonight, but damn it, I was not going to miss. Somehow the big bad devil daddy himself caught some slight case of laryngitis. Must be from all that fantastic hot sauce I've been eating from the Horror Struck hot sauce company, our wonderful new sponsor. But I said, damn it, the devil doesn't take a day off, and I'm not about to. So here I am. Even if I sound like Kermit the Frog on crack. But the lovely Mortimer Deadfellow has come out of his crypt as well to talk about some Thanksgiving classics. Now, mind you, they're not just about Thanksgiving. Some of these films are just great for the spirit of Thanksgiving, as it were. And we got some tasty ones for you, let me tell you. Hopefully, you guys are recovering from all of the big meal yesterday. Most of us always stuff ourselves into oblivion. How about you, Mortimer? Did you happen to eat your weight in gold?
Well, me and Ophelia doing this whole undead thing, we just had some guests over for dinner, and they tasted quite. I mean, we had a great time. We did.
Hell yeah! There's nothing like making it yourself.
Exactly. And why go out when it can be delivered?
Right.
Have to love technology.
Right. What's up, all my beautiful people out there in the attic section? Dustin, what's going on, brother? He was the first one in. Lizzie says she's still full as fuck.
Stuff.
Oh, no worries, brother. I'm getting better every day. This is the best it's been. So
He just needs fresh souls.
right. I gotta lube up the neck with some
There you go.
with some fresh souls. What's up, Cody? Kyler, good to see you, my brother. And speaking of that Horror Struck hot sauce, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we get into our list of some Thanksgiving horror that you should be checking out after a big meal like that, especially on Black Friday. Alrighty, check it out from our brothers over at Horror Struck Barbecue Sauce. Let me try that again. HorrorStruckHotSauce.com. There's some barbecue in there too. It's got a little bit of everything. Check it out. That's right. Hotter than fucking Satan's nutsack. You definitely want to get yourself one of these tasty motherfucking hot sauces, especially if you're a hot sauce lover. Particularly, I recommend the Lament configuration. If you are a garlic fiend, much like myself.
Or collect the whole set.
Yeah, or get the whole set. Right now, Black Friday savings, you guys can save up to 30% off horrorstruckhotsauce.com. All right, brother, let's jump into some of these classics.
Let us.
I know it's like where to begin.
That's kind of the thing, but you know me.
The nice thing is that they're not ranked.
Exactly. I'm going to start off with Deadly Friend, 1986.
You know, back in it was 1985 or 86?
1986.
Okay. Yeah. When this actress, before she got so popular, playing Buffy the Vampire Slayer, there wasn't a guy I knew that was not madly in love with this actress. And as a matter of fact, my brother, he had a huge thing for her, drew portraits of her and everything. It was fucking crazy. But I'll tell you what, she played crazy. I'm the shit. In this movie, like a champ. I mean, you never knew what was hiding underneath the skin.
Exactly. And the thing that I liked really about this one is like you said, it's like for a lot of people, she's the all-American girl next door.
Yeah.
And she still is in this film until certain events change that. But she's still perceived the same way, which is their first mistake.
Oh, yeah.
And also,
especially
I have to mention, we have to mention one of the goriest, beautiful special effects kills, practical, in this film is Gorehounds. You will love us for this. If you've not seen this, you will also get a little nod of the Goonies for one of the lovable actresses from that. And yes, I just thought it was a perfect film to kick off our Thanksgiving celebration.
Absolutely. And it was definitely, I mean, Wes Craven knocked this one out of the fucking park.
Very
much. He's one of the biggest masters of horror of all time, because through a horror film, and I actually wished that they would show this to the boys in high school.
I agree. No, I agree.
As a way to, how you should treat a lady, because if you don't,
exactly, yes,
you might get fucked up beyond.
And that's the thing too, is I like that this movie it'll take you in more than one direction emotionally.
Yes,
it's not a one beat film by any stretch. It's Wes Craven was already it was him beginning to already show he was already making a name for himself for a minute.
Oh yeah,
but he was showing why he had a name to begin with. So, and it was a different type of film. It's not a Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not Last House on the Left, thank goodness. It's, it's like, but he did that with his films. He would go a bunch of different directions and try different things.
Exactly.
And in this one, like I said, it really was. If I think he would have had a different actress, it would have been a lot more difficult for it to be as effective as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a way of finding material that is like very commonplace with people. It's home to everybody, and find a way to turn it into a nightmarish, hell of a fucking film. And this one delivered.
Oh yeah,
big time.
This one, when I first saw this, it had a decent impact on me, quite a bit.
Fuck yeah. Dustin says she starts off as an all-American girl that becomes Canadian.
Well, technically, did you keep saying sorry?
Not that I heard. But nonetheless, yes, because, obviously we end up finding out that she is, in fact, a fucking robot.
Yes. Yes, and then seeing the thing on that end that got me with it is
Oh
the
yeah,
robot
because
was
you didn't really
nice.
see it coming.
Exactly. The robot was nice. You thought it was like almost the robot sacrificed to save this girl's life. And then things went sideways. And it's like if Johnny Five ended up becoming the Terminator.
Right.
And that's pretty much kind of the vibe there. But she conveyed it so well and so early in her career. She did really impressive work with that character so early on and starting out of her career.
Yeah, because I mean, for one, being able to act like a robot is just difficult, period, because obviously
Yeah.
you're not one.
Especially the believable robot.
Exactly.
Because over dramatic
Paul
robots are
Nada.
easy, but not, it won't sell it. Paul Nada in the house.
Mm-hmm. So hopefully you're drinking some of that bottle of Jack that I saw on your Facebook earlier today.
Will keep you warm on cold nights.
That's right. Especially like tonight. It's fucking awful.
It's actually quite cold in the crypt.
Is it? Yeah, it's like, I think below 20 where I'm at the moment.
Oh, see, yes. I try to.
Almost as cold as my heart.
We'll see. Dealing with that whole undead temperature sensitivity, I like to stay away from places where my bits may fall off.
And us devils hold in the heat, so.
Oh, you know it.
I still don't like it.
It's not the chestnuts roasting.
Well, maybe somebody's.
Well, yeah, true.
Just not mine.
Gotta be festive.
But yeah, the hell of a first choice.
Thank you.
But not just him as a director, but
Storyteller.
Halloween. Come on,
John Carpenter.
Man. Thank you. Just couldn't squeeze it out.
Oh, I've done that with the man before too.
Right. That's definitely after a Thanksgiving dinner. Too many fucking different things. But the two of them together, I think, prolifically stand out amongst all of the horror makers of the great era.
Oh, very much
because they had such a wide range of storytelling. It
Exactly.
literally they could hit upon any given topic at any time, and that was the last thing I wanted to say there.
No, I think dead on point.
Sorry, folks. There we go.
It's the underground. It gets sticky down here sometimes.
It does. Dustin says, drinking some Modelo Light on my end. Cheers to both of you. Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Let's see. What's going to be my first pick? This is so fucking tough. Now, y'all are probably wondering why I have the still shot of me in Attack of the Corn Zombies. Well, in the background, it's because when I think of a holiday like this, when it's all about, the gluttony of indulging yourself in all of the fine-ass foods, maybe some not so good fine-ass foods, because sometimes, let's face it, Lucifer and Beelzebub, they don't always make a good casserole. So occasionally you end up gorging yourself too much on other shit. So it makes me think of zombies. And one that I'm particularly kind of excited by was the remake of Day of the Dead.
I agree.
This has got Mina Savari, who we got to meet in a strange place known as American Pie. So to see her as a final girl in a zombie apocalypse, I thought this was kind of great. Right. And then of course the great Ving Rhames, who just bedazzled us in the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it made perfect sense to have him in there again as a stellar prick.
Well,
always,
that's the thing with it.
always
If
a
you want
hard
him to
ass.
be if you want him to be a really great good guy, he can do it. If you want him to be a villain, he'll be a villain you'll remember. He's
Exactly.
one of those go-to actors. You give him that role, he's going to be that role. Yeah.
And I fell for him too because,
Oh yeah. Oh
he
yeah.
got fucked up in this movie. And it's like, oh, shit.
When you're dealing with a Romero themed zombie film, if you're not, I mean, even if you're a hero, there's still a chance you're going to bite it, but you are going to bite it in a historical,
Oh, yeah. Epic way.
fantastic zombie way. Because that's how Romero did it. That's how he got it done. That's how he's inspired all these generations of people to create these new zombies.
And I just still feel like none of them can touch his flair.
Well, I think that he was personally, I agree with that, but he was saying his views and a lot of people's views at the times on a lot of different subjects,
Oh,
not and
yeah.
just using the zombies as his medium. But he
Right.
redefined in a large case what a zombie was globally.
Yes. What
So
it looked like.
his impact will always be there forever.
Absolutely. What it looked
Yep.
like, how it moved.
Yep.
Even to the point of it can speak, it might have a little bit of thinking power.
What does it remember? Oh, it remembers going to the mall. It
Right.
remembers little things, and things like that. Exactly. Through the movies, they grew over time. The lore thickened over time, but with care.
Exactly.
It was surgically done, not with a sledgehammer like most movies will try to do.
And as we talked about the great gluttony of Thanksgiving,
That's perfect.
who doesn't love a good ripping and tearing and shredding that these zombies do, and giving us some of the coolest practical kills of all time, not even using a single weapon but themselves.
True. And I actually think by you using Attack of the Corn Zombies there, I think it actually fits perfectly for what you're saying with the gluttony. And also think of a dish that is most of the time exactly served at Thanksgiving dinners. Corn.
Very, very good, Lizzie.
Eat the wrong corn, and guess what happens?
Funny part is I didn't even think about the corn aspect, but hey,
Yeah.
that's my genius at work, even when I don't know it.
There you go. Exactly. But I think both. I think that fits perfectly.
Well, thank you, Dustin. Dustin says Attack of the Corn Zombies is really good. Also makes sense as a good horror film to watch during Thanksgiving. Very cool.
Agree. Yep.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this.
It also gave me Romero vibes.
Very much so.
It really did.
Very early on Romero vibes.
Yep.
But in this epic remake of Day of the Dead, I feel that even with a lot of what they added extra, that hospital scene alone, I thought was by far one of the most amazing attacks.
Oh yeah.
Because at that point, everybody doesn't realize why they're there, what's happening to them. They think they're just taking mom and pa and, brother and sister Janie, to the hospital.
Right.
And then they all start dying and then come back and start destroying everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love that because then if you're going to show like where a city gets hit by an infection and just loses it, you need to show that chaos.
Oh yeah,
I feel.
And this was like a smaller kind of city too.
Exactly too. So the impact would be greater if that's one of your big. I mean, that's going to be one of your basic big medical centers for people to get aid. And if it's turned into Zombie Central, and
right.
Hey, let's have a human Big Mac. Oh, look, they're coming to us already bleeding. They brought the ketchup. And it continually feeds the infection. You're just gaining more zombies.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
And I like the way it starts out, with the teenagers hanging out in the abandoned place, thinking to get
Right.
some forbidden nookie. And all along, dude's got a terrible cold, doesn't know why, but
And
by the
seeing
time
that,
he
but the
gets home,
beginning part right there, like you said, for a lot of teens at some point in their life is relatable.
big time.
And it's like, and that was a key, I think, with Romero's stuff too, in general,
Yeah.
period. Is if you had to make the people relatable, even if they're scumbags. It's like, why are they scumbags? And it's like, well, they're this and that and that. But he would let you know without, you'd figure it out through the story and character development.
Exactly. All
I think it's a
right.
great one.
What is your next pick, sir?
Okay. I'm going to have to stay a little in the 80s just because that's my favorite place.
Oh, fuck
I'm going to
yeah.
have to go with Blood Rage 1987.
Yes.
Yes.
Another tasty little treat that was not afraid to break doors down.
Well, see, and that's exactly the point. That's why I love the opportunity that I have and we have on the barbecue to share ones that I mean, this film to a large degree has cult followings.
It
But there's
does.
also people that are new to horror and new to the 80s slasher and things like that have never seen it before. And it's one of those films that rides a line of comedy, horror, absolutely crazy, and so bad it's good. But it's
got
like you
all the
said,
elements.
it's taken big swings.
Yep.
It really does. But it's like just the basis when you think of, okay, there's two twin brothers and one witnesses the other one do something very, very bad at the very beginning and blames the other one, and the other one gets sent to a mental institution, then breaks out. But which one got put in, the good one or the bad one?
Mm.
And then you got to find out as bodies start dropping and dropping and dropping. And since they're twins, it's a little more difficult to put your finger on who did it.
I was gonna say, so it's basically like a really big kind of a mind fuck film.
To a large degree, yes. Yeah, but it was like you were saying, it's like it's early 80s slasher that was not afraid to go for it. Whether it was good or bad, they were just throwing spitballs. But
well, and I think that they were smart enough to know that a lot of stuff that was coming out at the time had these elements.
exactly,
So
yeah.
they tried to take those elements without being too much rehashing.
Exactly.
And threw their own little, flavor into the mix.
Exactly, yeah. Now that's a perfect way to break it down. Because that's how this film works. It rides the line between
What's going on, Diogo? Good to see you, brother.
Nice.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Everything that I've read up to this point, this new adaptation of Nosferatu is not going to be anything like you've seen. They are even more so, just based on the rating that it's gotten. There's going to be some shock and awe in this fucking film. And I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah. Make vampires scary again.
Hell yeah. Make him nasty.
Exactly.
The fucking, master of darkness yet again.
Straight up.
Let's see. Dustin says, I'm not a fan of Blood Rage, and I feel like a minority opinion on that. It's been interesting seeing how many people love it every Thanksgiving.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's a film that either you love it or hate it.
Right.
And that's why I had to throw it out here. But also too, it's like, yeah, I agree with him there. It's but it's one of those films that's like you got to choose. It's like you do or you don't, but as a viewer, you can just make your own opinion. But it's like he said, he's not a fan of it, but it wouldn't make me think less of his opinion in film,
That is, it's so true across the board. So
Right.
many films, as us as a horror community, some of us we think they're fucking fantastic for
Exactly.
all different kinds of reasons. And then there's reasons that we disagree,
Exactly.
and that's okay. But at the end of the day, we still have that love and appreciation for horror. So,
and it opens up conversation like we are now.
Exactly. A great dialogue, and it gives each other ideas on what to check the fuck out.
Yep.
Oh shit, Trippy Mystic back in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you tonight. He says, howdy, y'all. And so true. We need more vampire movies that are actually like Prey and Predator, not the fucker talking to you all the time. Exactly. And I think that's the romantic part about Count Orlok. He doesn't give two fucking shits about what is in front of him but his next meal. He's not there to woo you. He's not going to have a conscience. He's just going to fuck your shit up and drink you dry.
See, and I think that's why, too, he was such a giant influence into Salem's Lot.
Ooh, big time. Big time.
And that's exactly what you're saying. He's literally like a shark in the water. He's not going to sit there and hold. He's not going to, I have crossed oceans of time to find you. He's not going to do that. He's not going to say, oh, it's garlic, blah, blah. You're not going to get any of that kind of stuff with him. You are dinner.
Straight up, there's nothing romantic about him. You look at him, you want to look away, or you're just so terrified, that you don't know quite what to do.
Exactly. But I agree with that, though. It made them. You think this thing is going to creep into your window by something that much? It's just going to turn into mist. Just come right in there and be there, sitting at the corner of your bed, and it's lunchtime, midnight snack.
He goes on to say, I fucking read Dracula in freshman English. Exactly. And that was a whole, good for Bram Stoker. He gave, the sexiest guy to ever play it, in my opinion, was probably Frank Langella and Christopher Lee, only because if you wanted the sensual Dracula, you had Frank Langella, and he did that shit really well in the 70s.
He did, but I would also give it to Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
The reason I would say that is he nodded more towards what Vlad Tepes looked like.
Exactly.
He had that more of the princely, I'm a European warlord conqueror, as well as Dracula. But I understand what you mean exactly. It's like Christopher Lee was like Bela Lugosi without playing around anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm going to rip you to pieces.
Yeah. And let's face it, though. I mean, Bela didn't exactly bring the sex appeal. It was just...
He was commanding presence.
Yes.
Yeah, the stare.
Diogo says old films were better because they didn't involve so many effects, artistic things. It seems like they wanted to be as realistic as possible. So today, there are a few that are saved. Many, like Saw and The Terrifier, were better because they broke the rules. Yes, Diogo, yes. Breaking the rules is what it's all about in film. Most people are very stingy. That's why many producers create softer films so that they can make profit. Yeah, you can always tell that, they're making something because they know it's the flavor of the day, whether it's true crime or the paranormal investigators, nothing against them. I mean, Mortimer might have a problem with that, but because they're always trying to find you, sir.
They are. But here's the thing I don't understand. I'm in the dead pages. Just look me up. I'll greet
the true ghost with the most.
Got something good for you.
Trippy Mystic says he makes himself known Then he uses the shadow to play the mind games where you never know what's in the dark. And that's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but at the end of the day, we don't want to see we want to see the animalistic carnage from what vampires can do.
Right.
We want to see their prime function, and we've seen it.
True.
Many, many times. Because at the end of the day, they know that you're food. They don't love you. They don't care about you. You know what I mean? Dustin says the scarier the vampire, the better. Yes. Oh, you absolutely hit on one of my number one favorites of all time. Two of the best is Radu from Subspecies, Full Moon in the House.
Very much so. Yeah.
Fucking
Can't beat
love
Subspecies. I love those films.
Ah, yes. And the Reaper strain from Blade 2. Literally, they just wanted to open you up as bad as they possibly could.
Yeah. That was a really wicked design. I like that with that too. Even almost a little bit, not as well as they did it in what he's saying in Blade 2, but almost like in the Daywalker movie where you're showing a different vampire anatomy almost all together. It was really interesting. Yeah. I agree with that. That was cool.
Yeah. Great tie-in.
Yes.
So I think for my next pick, this one was kind of a no-brainer because this film literally makes everyone cringe in all the right ways. So I feel that this epic film with one of my good friends who's in it also, it gave us a more savage look at some of the tribes in early America time that were so savage, in fact, that many of them were cannibalistic. Now, not all of them, but this tribe in particular, definitely, they're not into making deals. They're not into wanting to have a sit down and a chat. They want to take bones and they want to split you in half. And that film is Bone Tomahawk. This film, I kid you not, for the longest time when I first saw the movie poster, I said to myself, how is this a horror film? Why did this get put into the horror genre? And then we get to the cave. And that changed my very way of thinking and crossing my legs about 5 or 6 times. Looked like a fucking pretzel by the time I was done doing it because, god damn, I felt so bad. Oh, my goodness. Almost to the point of it was so hard to watch. You know, a tear rolled down your eyes, but you
Speaking of chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Exactly right.
But you did make me think of splitting the wishbone.
Robert Mukes is one of the savages. My good buddy there. And I mean, shit, he did a fantastic job.
Oh yeah.
But
no, that it's a visceral film that you're not expecting it to be.
No.
You expect it's going to be a Western, which it is.
Right.
But you expect it's going to play the roles of a Western, and it does not.
No.
And I loved that. It was a breath
out the fucking back door with this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Thank you, Dustin. He says very good choice.
Oh,
and I really do. I challenge everybody out there in the Morgrot universe to check this film out.
Oh yes,
because it's going to fuck with your senses. If you want to see what true despair looks like, not knowing what's going to happen to you, but watching it happen to the close people in your life will definitely make you feel what true despair truly is.
Oh, yes. Great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, Diogo says it's like Law of the Jungle, more hardcore. Exactly. And
Yeah,
there, and
that
you
sums that
kind of
up.
hit yeah, hit the nail on the button there,
Yeah.
because
Well,
a lot of those great cannibal films are about tribes that were headhunters, that
yeah,
were the straight up fucking cannibals.
yeah.
And it's
And also
ingrained
too, you
in
get
their culture.
tons of
Hey,
cameos in
Gary
this one.
Tondo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Everyone's showing up. I love this.
Oh, yes. Join
All
us.
right. Let's see what the follow up to that one is going to be.
Okay.
These are all just so good, you know. I
I'm
feel like I'm
going
at the
to
movie theater
go,
ready for the next commercial.
but I think I can get a little demented with you.
Oh, yes, indeed,
My
sir.
next choice will be Pilgrim 2019.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear about this because I haven't got to see it yet.
This, okay, without giving too much away, just, where mothers will nag their kids sometimes or their families about, you're not really getting into the spirit of the holidays. You don't really understand the meaning of the holidays.
Yes.
Well, think if a mother went so far as to hire a group of living history actors that
Ooh.
portray pilgrims to stay over for Thanksgiving.
Oh, hell no.
And then you find out they're lunatics
Oh,
and
shit.
take it a little too far and never drop character because it's not a character. And it amps up. It's one of those films that starts slow, and then once it picks up and gets going, you get all your stuffing in the right places.
It sounds like they got their stuffings in the right places. Maybe the wrong places too.
Very, very much so. So
Fucking
this
hell.
is one of my very Thanksgiving choices. Not day after, day before. This is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it also, it sounds like one that you could definitely watch again. So it's got my vote. I'm gotta check this one out.
Oh, yes.
So as you guys saw out there in the Morgrant universe, it is a Hulu original. And I always remember seeing the poster for it, but I just didn't take the plunge yet. Probably because of my next choice. Diogo says it's a great film for Thanksgiving, so he approves. Dustin says, I know several people who have this in their top 5 Thanksgiving horror lists as well. So, fuck yeah. I've really got to watch it now.
We're in good company.
And like I said, I was holding out.
Mortimer Deadfellow approved.
Right? There it is. Okay. I was waiting for that one. I've always been an Eli Roth fan. I think he's done some pretty great work. They consider him to be one of the modern horror masters. And I it's so funny to me because when I think of Eli Roth, I think of him as the bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards. And I loved him so much in that role. He was fucking fantastic.
He killed it.
Literally.
Yes. And it's like, no, he did amazing in that. And it's like, when I think of Eli Roth, I think of two things: a follower and studier of Lloyd Kaufman.
Right. Yeah.
And also I think of The Rotten Fruit, which is his animated of a fruit rock band that is absolutely claymation and violent and amazing. And then, we get Cabin Fever and everything like that. And then him to come into this, you get Eli Roth with this film.
Yes.
And I felt that. It felt like he thought about this. He planned this out.
Really, really, really fucking well. I
Yeah,
mean, he
went for that
centers the
concept and
thing.
just lasered in on it.
Yes, he centers the whole story around the horrors of Black Friday. I mean, how many times over the last 20 years have we heard about people getting trampled,
Yeah.
fist fights, knockdown, dragouts,
Stabbings, you name it.
stabbings, especially mutilation by cart, so many different things. And he brings that to life in this big, high school football town.
Yeah.
And, anytime that you bring like the high school kids into the mix, it takes us back to the great 80s. So
Oh, yes,
many
very much
great
so.
horror films were centered around, high school kids and their drama.
Yep.
And then they get thrown into this, world of I'm fucked. Because, and I love how he made, the idea of the cell phone and people, oh, I got to get this on video.
Mm-hmm.
How many YouTube hits can I get? I'm going to be a star.
Right.
I'm going to get paid for this, and it ended up costing them their fucking lives.
Well, see, and that's part of it, I think, too, is it's like he's a child definitely of the 80s and grew up on all the masters that we did. But also he saw the big explosive boom in the 90s as well. Well, that'll make you better quicker. Or you just won't care.
Right.
But, I mean, that was the thing. He watched horror evolve in the 90s again.
Right.
And he started that out too, is like I said, with Cabin Fever coming into that more into like the beginning of the 2000s and things like that. And he started to really start showing himself as a director and a, writer and creator. And exactly. I think with this one, that's kind of what he did, was he kind of put all that knowledge together of things that he had seen and things that had worked in ones without ripping it off, but giving it to his own twist, his own flair.
Well, and keeping the flavor.
Exactly. Well, yeah, because as long as you keep the same recipes, it's a Thanksgiving movie. You got to have the right
it was another cloak and dagger mystery too. Who is the motherfucker behind the mask? And of course, it's he was once, I think, rated as GQ's sexiest man alive, Patrick
Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey from fucking that ER show. And here he is, I mean, making a human turkey.
Yeah. Well, see, that was the thing with me on him too, which was interesting to me for that, is like you were saying. My first experience with him was Mobsters.
Right.
When he was when he was
Meyer Lansky. For me, it was
and Can't Buy Me Love.
Can't Buy Me Love. That was my introduction to him. He was the fucking nerd. And I'll tell you what, I was like, I'm like, he's me, only skinnier. Even though I was a metalhead, the jean jacket and the long hair and all that. I was still a big nerd. I loved comics, cartoons, toys, all that shit. So, and I just always thought he was great. And then now all of a sudden, he's this big guy on ER. And now look, he's making human turkeys.
Right. Well, they did call him Dr. McSteamy.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's just now it's just a steaming carcass that he's responsible for.
And I felt the kills were very original. And
Eli's always very creative with that. He doesn't slack on his. I think he's exactly like us. Once it gets to that point, that's when the fun starts.
Right.
How can we kill somebody in a glorious, horrific way that's going to be fun for everybody?
Yeah.
And that's what he tries to do, I feel. I
pretty much figured it out, though, from the beginning, that he had an affair with Gina Gershon, who was the store's wife. I just had a feeling. I was like, they're a little too friendly.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Dustin here says the original trailer from Grindhouse was great. I'm glad they included a couple of scenes from the trailer in the film. Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Diogo
like it's like he
says,
was saying, yeah, it was just supposed to be that trailer and then ended up turning into a full film. It's like,
right.
oh, let's really make it.
Thanksgiving movie explains Black Friday well, with people killing each other to get something that is supposedly discounted. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. Hey, the
Creates some
great
panic.
Morgan Wellburn in the house.
Good.
Circus Satanicus. Indiegogo campaign goes live December 1st. All right. So yeah, definitely. I had to include it. I
Oh
know
yeah.
some
So
people didn't like it, but I thought it was worthy enough to be mentioned.
oh yes, very much so. Just for options, man. It's Thanksgiving. They've got to have options. We're giving them different sides.
Well, and if it was complete shit, I would have never put it on
Of
there.
course. No, exactly. We think better of our addicts than that. Thank you. All right. Let me
Absolutely.
see. All right. Well, since it keeps getting mentioned, I think I need to. I got to go with Black Friday 2021.
Dude, this movie is all kinds of bad fucking assery. I mean, start with Devon Sawa, Final Destination, Idle Hands, and of course, Glenn Danzig's Death Rider in the House of Vampires. He was the main guy. And then Bruce fucking Campbell.
Ruby. Oh,
How
yeah.
could you not be interested in this movie? And then you throw Michael Jai White in there. You're gonna have a party.
Oh, agreed. Definitely. And I like that the way that this kind of works is it's more of sci-fi zombie infection, almost a brain infection.
Yeah.
But it's like if you took like where aliens were coming down and replacing people and mixed it with a zombie film that, oh, you got to get a lot of people together in one spot. Oh, Black
Right.
Friday. And boom, there you go. And then chaos just ensues. And it's not like there's really lulls in it. It just keeps amping up as the night goes on to get bigger and bigger. It gave me the vibe and points of the remake of The Blob.
Yes.
Even though that didn't have zombies, of course, but it's just the
No.
aspect of how they work the film, and it just keeps getting more and more of a problem. And it's like, even though you have the people and the heroes fighting it, it's still becoming a problem, and they're losing more people. And it's like but it's got the dark humor and the comedy in there, too.
I was gonna say the comedy is out of this world.
Oh, well, you've got Bruce Campbell. I mean, you.
Well, it's shit when they got the one girl, tied up in the back storeroom, and she's sitting there shit talking dude, and they're like, "You're fucking a zombie," like you're, because she was going through the chain. She's like,
Yeah.
I worked so hard in this store, and just that whole bit. It's like every time she comes back, well, you didn't take care of that customer, right? And
Right.
I mean, that shit was great. But yeah, it was one of those first films that you already know what the chaos of a Black Friday is anyway.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you throw in the alien / zombie thing, which we've never seen before.
Not like that.
No.
The closest I would say would have been Night at the Creeps.
Right.
But those were the individual slug, and not exactly how this worked.
No. And they had purpose.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just kept trying to make more of each other to build the grand poobah.
Yeah. And that's what I like too, is it's like you didn't get that. That's more or less to me how I kind of got the vibe from like the Blob.
Yeah.
It's like was trying to assimilate to grow bigger. And it's like, man, that's wicked. That's a totally different way of going about it. So right there alone got me.
Definitely. Trippy Mystic says, good movie, seen clips, haven't fully watched it yet. You definitely want to
Oh,
give
yeah,
this
yeah.
one a shot.
Oh, yeah.
Without a fucking doubt.
Yeah.
So good. If nothing but just to see Bruce Campbell being good old Bruce Campbell.
Oh, you know it.
All the way
Agreed.
around. It was clear that, he's always looked at as the groovy man, the hero.
Yeah.
I came here to, kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Yep.
And in this one, he's like a fucking coward. And he plays it great.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he can play an asshole perfectly when he wants to.
Oh, big time.
Perfectly.
It's all about the store. It's all about the numbers.
Well, you guys do that. I'll be over here, safe,
Right.
protected.
Oh, shit. Okay. Now, these last two picks that I got, obviously, I'm just going to do the one and then I'll do the last one in a bit. But, around this time, obviously, Thanksgiving night and all the way through Thanksgiving weekend, as we all now know it to be, especially since kids have school off for like a week. They're starting to show Christmas movies. Now, I'm not much of a Christmas fan, obviously, because I celebrate Yule. But I do love every single time Christmas becomes as blasphemous as it can be. And I had talked about this one with the Great Turkey Man a little bit earlier this week. And I mean, it is just, you have Fran Drescher, one of the greatest mob guys from the original Godfather, James, God damn it, James Caan. In it, even just for a second, they're there. Okay. And then you throw in a demonic Santa known as Bill Goldberg. Who the fuck would not watch Santa's sleigh? If you want to laugh, if you want outrageousness, if you want some great practical kills, and not to mention just all the great actors and actresses that really pulled this thing together. They make you laugh. They make you terrified. They mostly laugh. But you're like, cheering for all the killing that Santa is doing.
It's like
this
wishing
one
for
is
Santa to show up is not
fucking
what you want to happen in this film. It's the last thing you want to happen. I
mean, the fact that, big old fucking Bill Goldberg going into, the sinful den of the strip club and begins to eradicate everyone.
Well, he brought his jackhammer. So
it was
that's Bill.
By far one of the most entertaining films I had seen in a very, very long time. I don't care how many people rate this thing as a bona fide piece of shit. I say it is a bona fide fucking piece of brilliance.
There you go. That's how it works. Oh yeah, no, that
the idea that the God and the devil made a wager, you know what I'm saying, and it's all based on that Holcomb bullshit. I think just makes it all the sweeter. It was just a lot of fucking fun. We have so many comments. Trippy Mystic says, I love him. Ash versus the Evil Dead was probably my favorite TV adaptation to carry on the story. I agree. I was saddened to see it go away.
Yeah, me too.
But you got to remember Bruce Campbell is one of those originals. There's a reason he's a legend. He did all of his own stunts.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That man has broken bones. Plus, he's up there in years a bit, and he just
Yep.
can't keep up with it like before. When his head went through the asshole of that deadite, that was really his head coming out. Uh,
Right. Exactly. He
there's
really
only
got
so
into
much
that
the
part.
man can do. Uh, Dustin says, yes, Santa Sleigh. Most fucking deaf, man. Santa Sleigh is fucking great. When I was a kid, I had it on DVD. You should still have it on DVD. God damn. Dustin says that's an all-time favorite Christmas horror movie. Top 10 for sure. God damn right. Brilliant. Ridiculous, but brilliant.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But the creativity with the kills too, I have to admire them for that.
Oh
And,
yeah,
and the
I mean
comedy.
that's
They
a
knew,
huge selling point.
well, they knew the film that they were making. I really do. I think they knew the vibe that they were going for.
Oh yeah,
That they were going to ride that line. And with it being, especially like I said, with it being Bill Goldberg, it's like you are supposed to expect Santa to be all jolly and nice. Santa is jacked and pissed.
right.
And it's just
He's
no
on
joke.
fucking
Yeah.
steroids from hell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like not the Santa you remember.
Exactly right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, such a good one. All right, so I believe we are up to your last one.
Yes, my last one is going to take us right back into the 80s, and it will be Hostile Takeover 1988. So you gotta love the cover art when it used to sell the movies.
Exactly. And man, they didn't spare any expense when they put these
Exactly.
things together.
And that's the thing about this one that got me, and the reason it was perfect for tonight's show was it is literally the next 2 days after Thanksgiving,
Right.
where everybody's got to go back to work and go back to the grind. And you just have our main character, Eugene, go to work with a giant suitcase. Oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to stay, at a family member's house for so much amount of time. Well, that's a big
Right.
case. And then he happens to lock the building and takes them all hostage. But you have an actor like David Warner,
Right.
from Doctor Who, from Waxworks, from you name it, just tons and tons of pictures, literally going against, at least character-wise, Michael Ironside. From Scanners, from
Right.
Total Recall, Starship Trooper. I mean, you name it. He's
So
been
many
around the board.
classics.
Legend. Both are legends. And it's such a surreal movie that really walks a line between, like, messes with your mind, thriller, sad. You feel bad for the bad guy. It's like you start to hate the people that he's supposed to, that you're supposed to want saved.
Oh, dude, it's like that movie Falling Down.
Oh yeah, yeah, very much. That's
with
another crazy film
Michael
right
Douglas.
there.
By
Yeah.
far one of my favorite somewhat action thriller films.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah, well, he
you
was
end
just
up
a normal
feeling
guy.
bad for the guy. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like he wasn't
Somebody
Arnold.
that just can't take it no more.
Yeah, he's a normal guy that just finally hits his limit. And it's kind of the same aspect to that. And then this is like, of course, way before it, and in a different vibe of film completely.
Yes.
But you do get that where he's alone. It's like, not that he chose to be, but it was forced upon him.
Yes.
And society doesn't see him, even though he's standing right there. And it's like, and it's really interesting film that goes a few different directions. and it'll leave you wondering, at times it's like, what the hell did I just watch?
What's up,
But in a
Marie?
good way.
Happy belated Thanksgiving to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's like when you look at the humdrum of society, the worker bees that so many of us unfortunately are.
Yeah.
Is it really that far out of reach to think that somebody is going to fucking snap one day? And it could be just that one situation, that one thing your boss tells you that pisses you off to no end. You feel no appreciation, and you just feel like you're driven to this point. And then everyone says, oh, you're a fucking madman. Well, did you ever think that maybe you beat a dog long enough, he's going to bite back?
Exactly. And that's a perfect way to explain this film.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. It's the worker drone that is ignored when they are the nicest person in the building, the most genuine, nice, decent person in the building, and they're the weirdo. They're the outcast.
Yeah. That's why all these years I've watched the show The Office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for one of them motherfuckers to snap and be like, all right, I'm taking us all out.
Which would make sense. I mean, exactly. It's like that, and that's a thing too, is this was late 80s, but still, it was still the beginning before those type of films were really coming out. And also too, to have those two actors, especially going head to head with each other when they're putting out some of their best work to begin with.
Right.
It's still really interesting character study that they both pull off within the film.
Oh, without a doubt. Trippy Mystic says sometimes people just snap and they don't really make those moves the same now. Movies. That's probably what he was trying to say. He says if you have never worked in sales, you'll never understand how someone can just snap one day. Oh yes, the fuck I can.
Me too.
I did a shit ton of sales as part-time work while teaching back in the day. And let me tell you, there are so many times I wanted to tell, Mrs. Go Fuck Herself to fuck off. Or, entitled Dumbass number 1 and 2 thinks it's funny to fuck with you because he knows you only make so much an hour. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The type of things that a lot of folks have to go through. It's like I said, one day when all of the state capitol buildings are adorned by tridents, one day we will all be free and very happy. Yes. Oh man, what a great pick. I'm definitely going to go back and watch that myself.
Oh yes.
Now a lot of people I don't think liked this version. Now this film has been remade twice. For one reason, I don't understand why they had to do one for the third time, because I thought the second one was all kinds of badassery. There is nothing wrong with the original from the 70s. I thought it was fantastic. But there was something special, something different, something way more sinister about this incarnation of Black Christmas.
I can agree with that.
It takes you into a much more darker,
brutal
yeah, carnality at its worst, kind of a thing. I mean, this movie is 75 degrees of wrong.
Oh yeah. But they did catch the vibe of the original. So, I mean, that's the thing. It really does. It doesn't forget where it started.
No.
It just
but
takes
the way that they were able to bring in a backstory for that person that's doing those phone calls.
Yes. Something that the original was really lacking.
Yeah, well, in a lot of ways, that's very true. But in a lot of ways, some people feel like not knowing who that killer
I can get that too. I can understand that.
Brilliance.
Yeah, I can understand both principles of that.
You still didn't know who the killer was, in this one either until you got further on, towards the end. And who would have thought that, his illegitimate sister would end up joining part of the family business, as it were.
Right.
And I like this movie for Thanksgiving weekend because it gives you that little bit of cannibalism because he liked cookies out of mother, but the fact that the disgusting inbreeding bred a second killer, and she was almost more sinister than Billy himself.
Right.
Let's talk about practical kills.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was more or less taking the ones that you had in the 70s and really just dialing the notch up big time on that. But delivered. They did deliver on that, because it's like, if you're going to go that far with it, and granted, I'm a gore hound anyway, but still, to me, it should have some context to the story. And it's like, they didn't screw that up, because that's one of the big things that the original was known for.
Right.
Was those, the shocking holiday Christmas themed kills and the stuff. And it's like Silent Night, Deadly Night, and Black Christmas are the two top ones. You can't beat those.
Right.
For the holiday creative practical kills, especially like some of them. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. You'll get something real wrong in your stocking with this film.
I thought it was very inventive.
Oh, yes.
And something that a lot of holiday themed horror films don't always deliver on. I thought that they were well worked out. And I always love the Human Museum. And this particular killer in the attic just had a great collection of kills. And I always find that to be such an artistic twist.
Oh, yeah, it's always nice because, there's so many of the big, huge killers for slasher legends, that have done the same thing in that point. Jason does it. Freddy even does it. Michael Myers does it. Leatherface makes furniture out of them. So, the Texas boy's got to go big. So it's like, no, I won't just, have you sitting over there dead. I'll make a couch out of you. At least he's being useful, providing for the family. But it's the same aspect
on Johnny.
collecting their trophies, But I liked that as well. I thought that was, it was a really creepy touch, but in the best kind of way.
Yeah, definitely. And just an uber psychotic, backstory that really played itself out all the way to, Billy getting out of the sanitarium.
Right.
I don't know. I fucking dug it. Let's see here. Dustin says, I like the original best. I didn't like it when it came out. I rewatched it this year and appreciate it a lot more. Okay, cool.
Yeah, sometimes you have to do that with films.
It's got to sit with you. You got to give it more than one try.
Right.
Unfortunately, the 2019 version stunk. Horrible. I will never watch that one again. I thought
sometimes they really miss the mark.
Exactly. Diogo says it's one of the few films that managed to maintain the same style and be successful. I agree.
Agreed. Yeah.
Big time. I think we got a double. Okay. He goes on to say Silent Night, Deadly Night is such a Christmas horror classic. The remake was pretty good. I don't think I've seen the remake of Silent Night, Deadly
I
Night.
don't know if I've seen the remake either.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Because I
If there
love
is, I'd
Silent
be
Night,
really
Deadly Night.
kind of surprised.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. Literally, that's my favorite Christmas horror movie is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And let's not forget that horror classic that has William Shatner in it, known as A Horror Story, a Christmas horror story. It's an anthology of madness, and it is fantastic. But we'll talk about that later on in December. Yeah, I think this is a great way to kick off the Nutcracker season.
Especially Bone Tomahawk.
Oh my goodness. If you want to, like I said, if you want to sweat, if you want to feel your nerves crawling through your skin, you need to sit down and watch it because, I mean, let's face it, it ain't far-fetched.
Oh no, and if I challenge any gentleman to watch the film for the first time and not cross his legs at some point.
Or even whimper a little
Wince.
bit. Yes. Because,
Yes.
man, it's like I can't take it, but I can't take my eyes off the screen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So add that to your hot chip challenge.
There you go.
But I think we've all of us, everybody out there in the Morgrot universe as well, have got some excellent picks for the current Thanksgiving weekend, and it's like I said, a great way to kick off because Krampus time is upon us.
It's coming,
and we are ready for him. I know there's kids that aren't ready for him, but fuck them. That's what you get if you're naughty. Dustin says Silent Night 2012. They supposedly did another remake, or supposedly there's another remake in the works of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put that on the list. Oh, that's right. Krampus Night is coming. And I've been watching the videos and I'm so jealous. I want to be over in Germany for the Krampusnacht parade. It is the most demonically beautiful thing.
That is true.
It truly fucking is, man. It's fantastic. One day, maybe we'll all take a pilgrimage over there.
Hey, Ophelia's been trying to get me back to Germany for quite some time.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a great reason to do it.
Now I don't have to take a hot air balloon to get there.
Well, right. That and a Walpurgisnacht, Night of the Witches. One of the biggest and baddest parties ever. Oh, man. Oh, Brandy, what's going on, girl? Good to see you. You might have to catch the replay. But yeah, if you did miss it tonight, no worries. Definitely catch the replay on Facebook and YouTube. And we totally appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. But don't forget, Sinful Saturday is almost upon us. Are you ready to sin? Are you ready to get moist? Do you want to get absolutely blasphemous and crazy? Join us tomorrow night for a monumental edition of the goddamn program where if you need a good laugh, especially after the chaos that you have just gone through, join us tomorrow night as we are going to be talking about all kinds of holiday fuckery, and everything else in between. So catch us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. CST. Like I said, hopefully we have given you some excellent choices to add to your holiday weekend. And get ready for all that ooey gooey Christmas horror goodness that is upon us, because we will definitely be revisiting some other classics that we have not mentioned this evening. So as you're laying it down, maybe you've had a little too much of the devil's nectar or the devil's lettuce. Get ready to sin, and most importantly, stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Rebirth Underground. Stay tuned for more from Morgue Rot Entertainment in association with Black Flame Entertainment.